on the Central and Pacific. My name is Chris White, and I work at ROC, and I'm co-workers with Manuel.
Great. Thank you, Chris. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for everybody, if you don't mind. And we are representatives of the Restaurant Opportunity Center, United. We are a nationwide organization that helps and works directly with restaurant workers and restaurant owners to create visibility and power within our base. Today, we're going to be talking about our mission, our history, a little bit about our founder, our three prongs. Chris will share with us about his program, the High Road program, and the RACE program that we have. We're going to do some closing, and then we're going to allow some time for Q&A at the end if there's any. So a little bit about me. I am a Mexican immigrant. I immigrated to the United States 22 years ago now. And my main profession at the time that gave me access was the restaurant industry. I worked from fast food to five-star, five-diamond establishments, and I am based out of Los Angeles. That's where I originally immigrated to as well. During my time working in the restaurant industry, I lived firsthand a lot of the abuses that happen in the industry, a lot of the things that have been normalized, and something that still haunts me to this day, the dehumanization process, where they make you feel replaceable, powerless, and just another working unit. And so coming into ROC through one of our programs that I will talk to you shortly, gave me a window of what I could do with that power that I have within. I started doing outreach, letting people know about their rights, about things that they have access to, being undocumented. At the time, you felt that you don't deserve or have rights to anything. And then I came to learn that that was a lie. And so I keep teaching my community, and eventually I became an organizer. And now I have been with the organization for about 8 years and a little bit. And now I run a Minnesota chapter, the Chicago chapter, the Bay Area chapter, and the LA chapter. So that is a little bit about me, and I leave the floor to Chris so he can tell us a little bit about him.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris White. I'm a National High Road Director for ROC. And in addition to that, before I became a member of ROC, I've been an activist and involved in community activism for 38 years now. And that involves workers' rights, anti-police brutality, and the rights for special needs students. And one thing that's important to me is that we have a robust, fair, and equitable restaurant industry, because one thing that attracted me to ROC is what it stands for. And food is not only something that's nourishing, but it is a pathway to peace, and it is a major fuel for fighting injustice and fighting for equality. And being able to work with Manny, it's very special to me, because what he stands for and his life. And the beauty of this organization, just like yours, is that when you bring people from diverse backgrounds and we come together, there's no form of injustice that can stop justice from prevailing. Back to you, Manny.
Thank you, Chris. We'll go to our next slide. And so, briefly talking about our mission, we work to improve restaurant workers' lives and building worker power uniting workers in various backgrounds around shared goals and values. This is not only for restaurant workers, this is for anybody that wants to support our mission, including restaurant owners. We believe that there is this relationship that over the time gets broken, and there's mistrust on both sides, right? And so we want to try to elevate the values of those high road employers that believe in ethical treatment and better working conditions for their workforce. And we believe on highly trained colleagues and workers that can get paid for their skills in a fair way. And so we have seen that beautiful mix going together and being profitable at the end. And so we share our values, and as Chris mentioned, most of us in the organization came in from the base, so we understand our mission. Now, a little bit about our history. This picture was taken the late 80s, and it's a restaurant called Windows of the World. This restaurant was located in the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. This restaurant was like an oasis. This restaurant had a union, had a 401k, had benefits, and a good promotion ladder where if you start from the bottom, excuse me, you can become a server, a captain, and it was just, a dream for anybody to work in that place. It was beautiful. After 9/11, this restaurant disappeared, and half of the workforce was lost, and sadly, the other half was unemployed. New York City was in a very chaotic state. There were no jobs. There were very little places where they can look for aid. And somebody created a resource center for those workers that were out there helpless, almost at the verge of homelessness. And our founder, Dr. Suko Sibi, he was a worker at Windows of the World. He traded a shift that day, and that was the call that saved his life. Him, among Saru Sariyaman and Fekak Mamdu, initiated this resource center in New York City, providing aid to workers, food, information about food banks, shelter, and some legal aid. After that, we didn't see that there was a lot of centers that cater specifically to restaurant workers. And we saw potential to educating everybody about their rights and access to services and legal representation. And by organizing people, giving them all of the tools necessary to be able to take charge and power, restore that power balance in the workplace. And so SICU started a beautiful thing that is spread across the country. Now we have 10 chapters that are fully functioning and running, and they're fighting different campaigns. In California, we were able to win a higher minimum wage, paid sick days, paid family leave, among other things. And we try to replicate that across the board. We're also training business owners into what are the current ordinances so they can follow and stay up to date with all of the changes now with the pandemic, with the health and safety, so they can be protected against any violation. And also we help to train their staff to be able to provide a safer environment to their coworkers. Alrighty, so we have 3 prongs that we work on. Organizing and education. Organizing, as I mentioned before, was a formula that worked for our New York chapter. And we have won several fights against oppressors and against people that were wrongdoing restaurant workers. And we also have this other program called CHAP, which is Colors Hospitality Opportunity for Workers, which is very dear to my heart. This program, that's how I came into the organization actually. We provide opportunities of education for advancements in the workplace. We teach them fine dining and we teach them bartending. Things that they can utilize to move up within the ladder of their own restaurant, or we have seen it that a lot of students have created their own business inside of these classes. And so it is very exciting that we also teach some of the roots and causes of some of the issues that are going into the restaurant. We try to educate them to make sure that they are leaders in the community and represent their community very well. During our policy fights, which is our second prong, we fight for better working conditions and things that affect or benefit directly to our low wage workers. In Chicago and Los Angeles and Minnesota, there have been a lot of fights with raising the minimum wage and better COVID-19 protections. We were able to stand with several other organizations in coalition spaces to pass comprehensive protections for workers, giving them access to free PPE, giving them access to different venues and resources that they can use to make sure that they denounce illegalities, stay protected, and they know what to do. And so we are now launching a restaurant worker bill of rights where we believe that anything that affects, now that we've seen this high risk job, which is the restaurant, give all the workers the space and the steering and the steering wheel so they can drive the campaigns and they have a stake on whatever happens in their workplace. They can have an opinion of anything that might affect them in the long run. And so we're having sessions with workers, with leaders, we're getting the streets, we're talking to people, and we want input from every single restaurant worker across the nation. And so this is a very ambitious project that we're still in the beginning stage of it, but we will keep you updated into whatever policy fights we embark, especially locally here in Chicago. And we have our race program, which Chris kindly will be sharing with us. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Okay. At RAISE, it stands for Restaurants Advancing Industry Standards and Employment. It is part of the High Road program, which is more than just a department. It is a philosophy. And the High Road philosophy is an ethical and pragmatic way of doing business. And that simply means that at ROC, we believe that you can make a profit as a restaurant owner by treating your workers with dignity, by having equitable governance within your restaurant, by making sure that there's an environment where there is no sexual harassment, where there's no racial discrimination, where there's no occupational segregation. And we believe that restaurants that do not operate in this fashion are taking what is known as the low road model. So the high road model is the ethical, pragmatic, profitable approach to doing business. And who benefits from that? Employers that run, manage, and own restaurants, employees who work there, and we refer to as the workers. It's worker power. The consumers, which is us, if we have if you dine at a restaurant where everyone is treated with dignity, your waitress or waiter becomes a part of your life. Some people get their day started off at a restaurant and they have the same waiter. They sit in a section with their waiter or their waitress, and they have this dialogue. And this dialogue is part of what makes humanity great. It's part of what community is. So, everyone benefits when you take the high road to running your business. So we don't believe that a profit is just limited to, well, we made more revenue than our expenses. If your workforce is not empowered, if you aren't learning from the workers and the workers learning from you, then while you may have a numerical profit in the limited terms of what the business structure is, do you really have a profit? And we're human centered, worker led, and that's what that is. And the high road department comprises of the Child Institute, which Manny eloquently spoke about earlier, where we train our workers uh, and train our members. And we train them not only about the front of the house, the back of the house, the management of a restaurant or bartending, but we train them their rights. And we know that when they graduate from the Child Institute, they are empowered and they then go to restaurants that they work in or start a food truck or something, but they bring this value system with them. And through that, over a period of years, we aim to transform the industry. Restaurants advancing industry standards of employment are over 1,000 restaurants nationwide that practice this high road philosophy. And what they do is when we're fighting for restaurant workers' Bill of Rights, or when we're fighting to make sure that minimum wage is raised and turned into a living wage, these restaurant owners say, I pay a living wage. And it does not hurt my bottom line. In fact, it advances my bottom line. So at Raise, what we do is we have the restaurant owners that practice the high road philosophy. And at ROC, we offer them training for their staff. We make sure that they're aware of the policies that's going on, and we learn from them. And they serve as advisory members to our child board. Two programs that are in the works are the Village Application and the Entrepreneur Institute. And the Village Application is one of the major problems that we face and challenge, because I don't like to use the word problem. I like to use the word challenge. One of the challenges we face is that many of our workers have to have child care for their loved one. And during the busy part of the restaurant service, lots of daycare centers are closed. So we're working on an application that will help provide parental share and care amongst the different restaurants. We rely on our Raise members to be a part of that, and our Entrepreneur Institute, which will be launching a pilot in September. And this Entrepreneur Institute is not just to develop businesses or retrain people that already have businesses so they can go off and be multimillionaires and be on the cover of Money Magazine and Fortune Magazine. We're focusing on developing co-ops, but it's all centered around the high road philosophy. So those are two of the programs that we have in works, and we look forward to partnering with Chicago Food Policy Action and seeing how we can work together on that. The next slide, sir. At Raise, we are dedicated to professionalizing restaurant working, and we do that by promoting the fair wages and better benefits. If our Raise partners showcase what's happening in the industry by practicing this high road value system, then it will spread. And we aim that for it to go into other segments of the industry. Distribution of food, supply chain. And this is a lot of what Raise is about. As I say, we have over 1,000 restaurants in Raise, and they are committed to making sure that we have racial and gender equity. throughout the restaurant. And we cannot, if a person that works for a restaurant has a strong opinion on a political subject or something like that, we fight against restaurants that will schedule them in shifts just because they have a strong opinion about something. Schedule them where they can't earn a decent wage and they're not able to have their tips. So these are some of the things that we work with. We provide, depending on the region, we listen to what the region needs, the city needs, the state needs, and then we provide those services, whether it's financial literacy, whether it's um, training on web development and things of that nature. We go next slide. Some of our successes at ROC through our RAISE program and under the leadership of Dr. Seiko Sibi is in April of this year, we had sessions that led to Mississippi's first ever Equal Work Act signed. And they were the last state to ever have equal pay for equal work. And a lot of that is contributed to a policy session that took place between RAISE and the legislature in Mississippi. We engaged 100 partners last year, so it grew. And we're looking to re-engage as under the leadership of Manny and supported by me, the 50 plus partners that we have in the Chicago area. And we are facilitating listening sessions so we can expand that network of support. It's not just enough to have the Chamber of Commerce. We need diverse economic organizations, the Latino Chamber of Commerce, African American Chamber of Commerce, the Arab American, the different groups that represent the views and the positions and, more important, the values of all of the ethnicities, and make sure that no one is left out at the table. Because we all know, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So what we're hoping for is for our organizations to develop a partnership and to be able to grow off of what the work you're doing at Chicago Food Policy Action, and see how our existing RAISE members through our listening sessions can work together to make both of our missions successful. We are hoping to re-engage our 50 plus partners in the Chicago area. And we believe that those who you may be unaware of at Chicago Food Policy Action, and the restaurants may be unaware of the great work that you do by merging them, we believe that we can strengthen each other's mission and develop a stronger community. And we also hope to promote all types of training and education through our child program, and even expand some of the offerings. There's no reason why how to start a community-based farm or garden should not be one of the classes. So these are some of the things that we're looking forward to working with each other on.
Thank you, Chris. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And during these couple of years, we realized many things about the industry that were opportunities for growth, for sure. It was devastating for a lot of restaurant workers. Restaurant owners had to close for good. And there's a shortage of workforce in the restaurant industry. People are leaving the industry. And so our mission is for people to fall in love again with the industry. We want to make sure that we have highly trained individuals to fill up those positions. We want to engage with restaurant owners to provide safer spaces for them to increase their retention, to increase their wages, and to be reopened for good. And so this is a great opportunity for all of us to work together to rebuild the restaurant industry. And there's many ways that you can collaborate with us. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen again. And I'm going to give you our contact information so you can stay involved on our programs. And you can please feel free to reach out to us. My email is on the screen, Manuel, which is my first name, Manuel @rocunited.org. You can reach out Chris at rocunited.org. You can visit us on our website, rocunited.org, or you can scan this QR code right here, and you can leave us your contact information. We'll get back to you and tell you the many ways you can be supportive to rebuild our chapter, to engage with more members, and to give you all of the opportunities that we have for us to stay strong and open for good. And that was our presentation. And please, if you have any questions about what we just said or present, drop us a line. And I'm gonna leave this here. We welcome any questions. If there are any, you can feel free to email us that question or just leave your information. We'll get back to you.